Was ist mit J-Lo?
Die kenne ich nicht.
It was the throwaway sentence, delivered with seeming sincerity, a simpering smile, and an innocent nod of the head, that went on to become one of the internet's first real memes. Mariah Carey's simple proclamation, in response to an interviewer's question about Jennifer Lopez, is one of the finest textbook definitions of shade that anyone could ever ask for. And yet behind those 4 words is a world of pain, heartbreak, and jealousy that most people know nothing about. It's a world that reads like something straight out of a telenovela, populated by characters like a long-suffering wife, a controlling patriarch, and a young ingenue who tears them apart. This is the real story behind the infamous Mariah Carey and Jennifer Lopez feud. Our story starts with an 18-year-old Mariah Carey, who, with her classically trained operatic voice and long tousled curls, had big dreams of becoming a superstar.
I knew I loved to sing when I was like 4. My earliest memory is of wanting to sing.
In 1988, Carey found her way into a record label executive's gala, where she handed her Ben Margulies-produced demo tape over to the head of Sony Records, Tommy Mottola. Carey and Margulies would later go on to have a meeting with Mottola, who, believing that Margulies was Carey's boyfriend, made it his mission to push him out of the picture as he signed her to a $350,000 record deal.
It's like, a dream coming true. It's really incredible.
Mottola quickly took a large hand in Carey's career, to the extent that it was said that the two were barely ever seen without each other. Later in life, Mottola would admit that he was obsessive when it came to Carey, but with the caveat that that was the reason for her success. Rumors of a romance began to fly about the 39-year-old married man and his 18-year-old muse, and it wasn't long before they were proven to be true. Mottola proposed to Carey in 1992, 2 years after her first album release, and only shortly after the dissolution of his 19-year marriage.
So here you were, 19? Mm-hmm. Okay, and he was 20 years older, and he's interested in you romantically. What did you think? And he was married, by the way.
Well, he said he was separated, whatever, but...
I don't want to play psychologist, but 20 years older than you, Tommy Mottola. Was he a father figure?
Probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, their marriage was not to be a happy one. Carey suffered from non-stop reports of favoritism, with more than one reporter suggesting that she had married Mottola only for his connections. Even more troubling was the fact that Carey, who had never been in a serious relationship prior to Mottola, was facing emotional abuse almost daily that left her miserable, crying and alone, and dreaming that someone would kidnap her. Carey would later recount that she was forced to remain sequestered from the outside world by Mottola, and that she had to get permission to leave the house. "He didn't even know why I always had my bag with me," she would say years later, "but in my mind I thought, if something jumps off, I'm ready." Although Carey finally managed to escape her marriage to Mottola in 1997, that wouldn't be the end of their relationship. After all, Mottola was head of Sony Records and still wielded great power over her career.
Are you afraid? He listens to this interview and he gets mad. And he may not want to put out your next album. I mean, he is in control in that sense of your albums, yes?
He's the head of the company, so he's the one who's calling the shots, and really I would like to have a good relationship with him.
After some conflict over the direction Carey's career would take, Butterfly was released in late 1997, introducing the sexy image and breathy vocals that would become Carey's signature in later years. But by the time Rainbow, the last album Carey would record for Sony, was released in 1999, her relationship with the label had completely deteriorated. The label wanted a big pop song to be released as the third single, to heat up the lukewarm radio play for the album. But fittingly, Mariah wanted Can't Take That Away, a ballad about finding your inner strength based on her separation from Mottola, to be released instead. She told her fans about the dispute and instructed that they request the song on radio to force Sony into an official release, which they eventually did only half-heartedly and with a limited promotional budget. Carey would soon sign a record-breaking $100 million contract with EMI, but money couldn't buy her happiness. By 2001, Carey had begun work on a semi-autobiographical film titled Glitter, and the film and its accompanying soundtrack had created a workload that she couldn't sustain. After breaking up with her boyfriend of 3 years, Louis Miguel, Carey began posting disturbing voice messages on her official website, announcing that she would quit music. An erratic appearance on Total Request Live, in which Carey handed out ice cream and performed a striptease for Carson Daly, did nothing to help her public image.
Oh my God. What are you doing? Mariah Carey is stripping on TRL right now.
And meanwhile, Mottola back at Sony was doing everything he could to destroy her. Mottola had first discovered Jennifer Lopez in 1997 when she was fresh off the heels of her star turn in Selena and sending Spanish-language demos to various record labels. By this point, Mottola had recently separated from Carey, and it seemed his self-proclaimed obsession with her had been transferred to Lopez. Mottola sent J-Lo to the top of the charts with On the Six and the international smash hit Waiting for Tonight, but he wasn't done yet. Lopez's sophomore album J-Lo was released in 2001, and it featured a song entitled I'm Real. The song sampled Yellow Magic Orchestra's Firecracker, a song which strangely hadn't been requested for sample at all up until 3 weeks before its recording, when Mariah Carey had requested to use it for her song Loverboy.
On her.
I'm on the radio! Ah! That's good, baby!
Mariah Carey.
None of this would happen if you didn't believe in me.
Glitter, rated PG-13.
Producer Irv Gotti would later go on to confirm that this was a deliberate ploy by Tommy Mottola to sabotage Carey's Loverboy release, which was already scheduled to be the first single from the Glitter soundtrack and an instrumental part of the film itself. With no budget to reshoot the scenes that showed her lip-syncing to Loverboy, Mariah scrambled to find a new sample to base it on, settling on Cameo's Candy. However, she would go on to release a single remix of Loverboy with Debrat, which utilized Firecracker heavily, with Debrat rapping,
"Hey on me, much as you want to, you can't do what the fuck I do. Just be emulating me daily."
This wasn't the only way in which Mottola undercut Mariah's Glitter campaign. Mariah had recorded a track called If We for the project with Ja Rule, which was his first foray into R&B.
Who would've thought, baby? Missing you, baby. I need you, baby. Why me?
Irv Gotti would later recall that shortly after the record was finished, he was contacted by Mottola and instructed to make a collaboration for Jennifer and Ja Rule in the same style of If We.
So Tommy Mottola calls me at like 6 a.m. because he found out me and Rule made a record with Mariah Carey. And at the time, he hated Mariah Carey. So he was pumping Jennifer Lopez to compete. So he calls me 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, what's up, Tom? What the f you know? He says, Irv, I need you to do me a favor. I said, what's up? I need you to make a record with J-Lo, but I want you to put Ja Rule on it and make it a duet kind of a record. So immediately when he says that, I'm like, this he knows we just did this shit with Mariah, which was a duety record, and he's trying to Mariah. So boom, we make the record. He gives us the jet. This is now I'm getting into the thing, the double toppy. He gives us the jet, the Sony jet, for the week. Because he wants us to fly and shoot the video, appear in the original, because remember, I'm Real was a remix, appear in the original video, so it leads into the remix video, and we was like, yo, we got shows in Philly and things. He said, just take the jet.
Gotti worked with Ashanti and Ja Rule to craft I'm Real Murder Remix, which was released shortly after to huge success and which sounded more than a little similar to If We. While J-Lo topped charts, Mariah began a downward spiral which started with the lukewarm reception to Loverboy and only continued when Glitter was released on September 11, 2001. Matters only got worse when her father, who she had had little contact with since childhood, died of cancer, and she was bought out of her contract with EMI for $50 million. Despite this, Carey didn't speak about the situation between her, Mottola, and Lopez publicly until sometime later. Speaking to MTV about the Firecracker fiasco in 2002, Carey stated, "Let's just say they did me a favor, and they know who they are. And thank you, sweetie, and your friend who did it with you." The infamous "I don't know her" remark wasn't uttered until an interview on the shoot of Bringing on the Heartbreak in 2003, when Carey had clearly moved from bitterness onto pettiness. Since then, it's been reiterated many times in many different ways.
Do you know J-Lo at this point?
The audience member said it.
What do you think about people still referencing "I don't know her" all these years later?
I still don't know her.
Do you know each other?
No!
No.
Okay, here's
she
the
says you know her.
Okay, I know she, you know what? I'm very forgetful.
Okay.
Apparently, because I don't remember the fact that it was just like, "Hi, I'm so-and-so," and then move on. And then like, "Hi," that's it.
Right.
If I had never had a conversation with you and someone asked me about you, I'd be like, "I don't know him, but he seems cool."
Right.
Or, "I don't know him."
Does she seem cool?
I don't know her.
Which leaves us wondering, will this story ever have a happy ending for Carey and Lopez? Carey's annoyance towards her manipulative ex-husband's new plaything was understandable at the time, but this many years on it seems obvious that Lopez was only a pawn in Mottola's game, and that he was the one to blame for her career downfall. Lopez, who has alternated between supportive and shady when asked about Mariah, is still on top years later, and we're sure that Mariah could use some girl power to help her image recover from that New Year's Eve fiasco. Let's hope that in the age of Me Too and Time's Up, the two will someday put this feud to rest and come out with an anti-Mottola duet of their own. I Never Knew Him, perhaps?